So outside of the Mimighouls, we have a few things to go over with the exclusive and imports we have left, but let's get into the imports first because these are really somewhat important. We have Blaze Bombardment Beast as a common, and this was a V-Jump promo. And then you have Moon of the Closed Heavens as a common, which shocks a lot of people in the whole community, and honestly shocks me as well that they made this a common, and I was hoping it was going to be a super instead. We have Spellcard Monster Reborn and Spellcard Soul Exchange, both taking a super slot. I could definitely see Spellcard Monster Reborn seeing play because it is a snipe from the graveyard to summon it to your field. So if you're going against something like Snake Eye, you could take their Snake Eye Ash away, or if they go Poplar, you could chain this, take their Poplar, and they lose out on advantage, or you could just do a lot of myriad other things with Link plays with it. And Spellcard Soul Exchange is definitely going to be seeing play in something like Floowandereeze, because you tribute one monster, and you can also use monsters your opponent controls. So things like Floowandereeze, Monarchs, or even Kashtira can run it. But the downside is, your opponent's going to lose a lot of progress just because of this card. But let's get into the world premieres now. First off, we're going to be taking a look at the brand new trap card support. We have Magical Colloidal Soul. Magical Colloidal Soul. It's a level 2 water aqua tuner effect monster with 400 attack and 300 defense. If a monster is special summoned by your trap effect, except during the damage step, you could special summon this card from your hand or graveyard, but if you special summon it from the graveyard, banish it when it leaves the field. During your opponent's battle phase, quick effect, you can activate one of these effects. Immediately after it resolves, synchro summon using this card you control. Immediately after it resolves, exceed summon using this card you control. And you can only use one Magical Colloidal Soul once per turn. So being able to quick synchro or even quick exceed is very useful, as you can go into a myriad of things. But in my opinion, quick synchro might be better because you can just do a play up into a big synchro monster if you can. But you can go into things like Gigantic Sprite, you can go into other rank 2s, which is very nice. After that, we have Volmina, Statue of the Sacred Dragon. It is a light level 2 Dragon Pendulum effect monster with 200 attack, 1800 defense. And the pendulum effect is, if a monster is special summoned by your trap effect, except during the damage step, you can target one card on the field, return it to the hand, then you could special summon this card. You can only use this effect of Volmina, Statue of the Sacred Dragon, once per turn. And the monster effect is, when an opponent's monster declares an attack, you can place this monster in your pendulum zone, and if you do, return the opponent's monster to the hand. You can only use this effect of Volmina, Statue of the Sacred Dragon, once per turn. If this card in the monster zone is destroyed, you can place this card in your pendulum zone. Overall, very interesting Link monster, or pendulum monster I should say. It is a scale of 1, so it could be very useful in certain situations, and getting trap monster support is very nice, especially when we have Cubiko. It is a continuous trap card, and it is special summon this card as an effect monster, Fairy Earth, level 2, attack 0, defense 0 with the following effect. This is also still a trap. Once per chain, when your opponent activates a monster or a monster effect on the field that targets a card you control, quick effect, you could set this card in your spell and trap card zone, and if you do, negate the opponent's effect. Then, if that monster has the highest attack on your opponent's field, return it to the hand. You can only activate one Cubiko once per turn. And honestly, I really like it. It is a negate that bounces back on a targeting effect, which I really do like. Now we have the brand new Fiend support. It's DLC for Fiendsmith, and because one of these cards is relatively very good with it. We have Deep Sea Fiend. It is a level 4 Water Fiend effect monster, 1500 attack and 1000 defense. You can discard one card, then declare one attribute except the water. Special summon this card from your hand to either field, then this card becomes that attribute until the end of this turn. Then if you special summon this card to your opponent's field, you can special summon one level 4 or lower Fiend monster with an original attribute other than the declared one from your hand or graveyard to your field. Also, for the rest of This turn, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck except Fiend monsters. You can only use this effect of Dip C Fiend once per turn. It is relatively good in decks like Labyrinth or even Plunder Patrol because all your cards are Fiend. So realistically, having a new extender is very good, and overall, I think I really like this card for Fiend decks because of the use that it has. After that, we have Necroquip Princess. This card pretty much changed routes for Fiendsmith decks, and OCG won't have this till 2025, so by the time they get this, Fiendsmith is probably not going to be a thing anymore for them. But it is a level 6 Fiend Fusion Effect monster, 2000 attack and 2000 defense. The materials is 1 monster equipped with a monster, plus 1 Fiend monster card. Must be special summoned from the extra deck by sending the above cards from your hand and or field to the graveyard, and you can only control 1 Necroquip Princess. So how do you summon this in Fiendsmith? You have summoned out your Fiendsmith Engraver off your Fiendsmith's Requiem. You use the Requiem effect to attach to the Fiendsmith to summon this out. And now what does this do? If a monster is sent from the hand to the graveyard to activate a card or effect, you can activate one of these effects. Equip one of those monsters to this card as an equip spell that gives 500 attack, or draw 1 card. You can only use this effect of Necroquip Princess per turn. Once per turn. So you send both the Fiendsmith Requiem and your Fiendsmith Engraver to the graveyard to summon this, so you can get into your rank 6 in a different way without having to go into Sequentia first. So that is where you summon out the Beatrice, and then you use the Beatrice to do whatever you need, and you can do all these other plays that you can do. Overall, I definitely think it's going to be a staple in Fiendsmith because of the summoning condition, and you could recycle it, I believe, but it is a Dark Fiend, so be aware on that. And then we have Aerial Eater. This is a retrain on Air Eater from 1999, and it is a Wind Fiend level 6 fusion effect. 2100 attack and 2600 defense. The materials are 2 Fiend monsters with the same attribute. Hello, Super Pellet. If this card is fusion summoned, you can send 1 Fiend monster from your deck to the graveyard. If this card is in your graveyard, you can banish 2 level 6 or higher Fiend monsters with the same attribute as each other from the graveyard, except Aerial Eater, and special summon this card. You can only use each effect of Aerial Eater once per turn. So being able to send a Fiend monster from the deck to the graveyard is very good because I think it triggers Unchained Soul Shavara. And that is really good. Let me reread Shavara real quick. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can set 1 Unchained spell or trap directly from your deck. So it does trigger Shavara. So that is something to keep a note on, and realistically, that's really good. But overall, I'm happy with this retrain of Air Eater because it's not only a super poly target, you can also use it in your Fiendsmith engine as a free Foolish Burial for your actual Shavara if you need it. And let's get to the other world premiere free agents. First off, we have the League of Uniform Nomenclature Strikes. I'll just call it Uniform Strikes for short. It is a normal spell card, and you can target 1 face-up monster you control, equip 2 monsters with the same original name as that target from your hand, deck, and or graveyard to that target as equipped spells, and if you do, it cannot attack or be destroyed by battle while equipped with those 2 monsters. You cannot special summon for the rest of this turn after this card resolves, except monsters with the same original type as the targeted monster. You can only activate 1 the Uniform League or the League of Uniform Strikes per turn. It's a really gimmicky card, but also you can run in things like Moki Moki or Ojama. Hero Jamas make that because of what it does, and you can also run it in insect piles that don't deviate from just pure insect because you can equip 2 Resonant Insects to a Resonant Insect and then link it away for a link 2 to get 3 searches, which is really, really strong. And after that, we have Kochobo's Hinamatsuri. It is a dark machine effect monster with 2200 attack and 2200 defense. It is a machine effect monster, which is interesting. As if this card is in your hand or graveyard, you can target one machine monster on the field for the rest of this turn. You cannot special summon from the extra deck except Exceed monsters. Also, special summon this card, but banish it when it leaves the field. And if you do, have that monster's attack. Also, this card's level becomes that monster's. You can only use the effect of Kochobo's Hanamatsuri once per turn. And I really like this as an extender. It locks you to Exceeds if you're playing just pure Exceed machine deck pile. So realistically, it could be useful, and it locks for the whole turn, or for the rest of the turn, I should say. So you could do some gimmicky stuff with your linked first, then do that and go into this, which is very useful. We have one of the cards I really like being Zapper Shrimp. It's a light level 2 fish synchro tuner effect, and it takes 1 tuner plus 1 non-tuner monster. If this card is special summoned, you can send one other card from your hand or field to the graveyard, then target a spell and trap card you control, destroy it, and you can only use this effect of Zapper Shrimp once per turn. Once per chain, during your main phase, you can quick effect immediately after this effect resolve, sync or summon using this card you control. So now we have another level 2 fish synchro that is not a water to join the fray, and realistically, I'm happy that we're getting more level 2 synchros because that pool is very small and not much is going on in there, so happy to see that we have more. And finally, we have the set list, which I should pull up for the set spoiler, and I have my spreadsheet here. So let's take a look at all the rarities in Infinite Forbidden. So for your secret rares, you have a Stellar of the White Forest, and Elzette of the White Forest, Fiendsmith Engraver, Voltrami Perulia, Dibel, Queen of the White Forest, Fiendsmith Requiem, Silo Hat Rabbit, Millennium Ankh, Fiendsmith's Track, and Dominus Purge. So no matter what you pull, your box is normally going to be good outside if you pull Millennium Ankh, but that's still fine because Ankh is still a 3-of. Most of the cards in the Secret Rare slot this time are 3-ofs or even 1-ofs, because I'm definitely going to have to pick up a Silo Hat Rabbit and a Silo Hat here. But for your Ultras, you have Senjinjin, Wakes from a Millennium, Shield of the Millennium Dynasty, Dark Magician, the Magician of Black Magic, Tenpai Dragon Genroku, Disablaster, the Negotiation Fortress, the Unstoppable Exodia Incarnate, Silvera, Wolf Tamer of the White Forest, and the other one being Priscilla, Sinister Soul of the White Forest. Then we have Weju Temple, Tales of the White Forest, Mimighoul Master, Mimighoul Dungeon, Light and Darkness Dragon Lord, and Silo Hat. So overall, a lot of the secrets and ultras are really good. Even a lot of the super rares are decent because you have all the way over here, because some of them I forgot to update, you have your Ragnaraka Wicked Butterfly, your Centurion Atri, which is nice. And going through the list, you also have your Gimmick Puppet Exceed monsters, Fantastic Mechanics, and Fantastic Mechanics, which is literally the same name. Machina Mechanics. You have your Madolche Queen, Tierra Freezy. The other ones that I do want to note, you have Beware the White Forest, you have your Exod Fires of Rage, Obliterate, Heretical actually has a nice name, and that is Phobos Kovos, and I really like that name. Fiendsmith in Paradise, you have a lot of the imports that we just covered today, so there's that. Now, overall, what do I think about Infinite Forbidden now, since we've seen everything from the rarities to the brand new imports and world premieres? This is a really great set. It's definitely a top-heavy set, and it is going to be one of these sets that will last for a while, since most of the prominent cards are secret rare. Overall, though, I'm really happy about this set because a lot of the things that people wanted, like Gimmick Puppets, are low rarity, but they did make Fiendsmith super, super pricey, with 3 secret rares and Whitewoods having 3 secrets and 3 ultras. But at the end of the day, they are a company, and this is definitely going to sell the set better than anything before, kind of like how Age of Overlord was. But anyways, I hope you guys did enjoy this extensive video on talking about the imports and world premieres for Yu-Gi-Oh! Infinite Forbidden, and talking about the rarities for everything in the set. But anyways, I've been Bolt Spider, and I hope you guys did enjoy this video, and I'll see you all in the next video.